What you're looking at is what the student view would be for the Google Classroom page that we have. So just like all of the courses, you click on classwork at the top. Anything we post in Google Classroom, like whether we're posting a resource or any activity really at all, shows up in the stream. The students in all of their courses, that's what that picture is right there. All of the courses say click here. We put ours in Spanish with the arrow to the same place. And then you can see that for each day of the week, there is an agenda link. So going back all the way to the first day of school, what students would have seen is right here, view the weekly agenda and consult the day, in this case, Monday. Read over the agenda, watch the agenda overview video. So you could go back and look at all of the beginning videos. So for example, this very first agenda video, all of this stuff automatically focuses students on how in particular Spanish is functioning. For example, mentioning Vista, of course. So this is something that is repeated since the start of class. So each date will simply refer you to this agenda document, and then you go into the agenda document and you complete the activities that are listed. So it always looks the same. There'll be announcements, you have resources at the top as we progress, and then it's always the same: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The goals for today listed in English to help students focus, and then it goes down farther and it would show you what we're doing simultaneously as a class, and then it would split into what is happening individually. So the orientation video, the agenda video, if you will, it's longer on this very first day, would have shown you that. I'm going to show you this particular link in general, all about Vista. This is a resource that I created right at the start of the year so that when students have questions about how to get what they can out of Vista, etc., because they are spending quite a bit of time on Vista, Vista is taking the place of uh, the full classroom experience, if you will. It's allowing them to interact with the language. So this has video links. So even the first one, how do I log into Vista, etc. So all of these things are there. Or how do I complete my late work? How, a variety of things regarding things that are linked on Vista. I'm going to close that and I'll include that link in particular in your email. But then back to the daily agenda post in general. So for example, let's go back up and take a look at this one, week 3, that Monday, the 28th. This was what I showed Zach today, that we have a variety of information. And here, I'm hope you're seeing this right here. To me, sometimes this can be a little bit tricky. I'm clicking on this toolbar right here, and you see when I scroll it down that these resources are popping up. And this is something that I've talked about with the students. But if you're not scrolling that bar and you're simply scrolling the sidebar here, the other one on the far right, you might not see that there are other pieces down here. It does mention them in the instructions, but you maybe think, well, what's going on? Something got left off. So just FYI, click right in this box or put your cursor on that box and then scroll down. So for this particular assessment, this was their first assessment on the 28th, that Monday. They have to share their screen. So that first video shows them how to do that. That's in Flipgrid. If they want to know how they're going to be scored, that sets the criteria right there. It's very important that students understand that perfection is never the goal in a language. And then we're back to this agenda document. It's the same agenda document, but then it just points them to go to the corresponding day. In this case, it's Monday. And then what I had mentioned earlier that Zach had posted on the link that was here, and for this classroom for period 5 only, because we're doing these copy and paste with hyperlinks, that he completed the assignment for what that link was, but the link was to something in English. And so that's why I had said, if you had consulted the full set of instructions right here, these videos right here, and then you went and as the instructions were written, okay, because it says to watch how to share the video, because what you see in this is me sharing, I'm going to mute it. What you see in this is me showing you how to share your presentation. So you're doing this on Flipgrid, and then you're seeing what you're talking about. Okay, you're seeing what your presentation topic is about. So it would have been clear to the student after watching this video that, wait a minute, this says Mi Vida, but when I click on this link, it's something in English about being a traveler versus being a tourist. So that was the context of that comment. So that link has been corrected, and this is my login, so it'll look a little bit differently. But now you have the full instructions here in English. And then this video will show an example again of what,
Brian. A él le gusta
let me
andar
meet
en
this. It shows an example of what they're doing, that the photos, pick them, any image, they don't have to be real things. You could just use cartoons or emojis, but these serve to help you remember what you want to say, because we just want the kids to talk. They're just talking. We don't want it to sound like a memorized script. They're just looking at things and remembering what it is that they wanted to say. So that video goes into some detail about that. So I'm just going to go back to Google Classroom again. So this is the landing page, if you will. When the students enter the Meet, they click this. And what they want to do every day, and we did this again today and Friday when we were organizing for our assessment today, I had them open, I instructed all students, I said, open your agenda document. And these are the resources that you can use today during the assessment. I've mentioned several times this week that the resources in red are current resources. The other ones are for review materials. They could use their comparison template. They could also, and they wanted to open up this document. In English, it means a virtual visit to Guatemala. So they started working on this on Tuesday. One of their key levels for Spanish 2 is right there in interculturality. So those things are highlighted. You can see what they're working towards. This is the vocabulary that they're working on. They could use that in their writing today. We were practicing that. You can see along with this video and other activities, they were doing this 3 days. Then we were working together in a class practicing how to use the information that they were collecting, because they had these video segments of an authentic video all about Guatemala. And they were basically collecting visual information. That was the primary source of information. And then they were matching these vocabulary words to what they were observing about Guatemala. Then the secondary piece was to look for cognates. You can see the subtitles are on in Spanish. So they were going to see if they could figure some information out, and they were able to pause. So, for example, one of their vocab words is bosque, which is a forest, and then we have this word tropical. Oh, they must be talking about a tropical forest. So then they're expanding their vocabulary by virtue of interacting with these videos. And then we worked together as a class all week. Started last week, and we had comparisons and how to use them, starting with simple things. It was all review, people, etc., comparing people. That was last week. This week, then we moved into doing things with specific vocabulary for this unit. So that is how we were building. So the key takeaway is that, again, the best thing to take note of, to do, the most important habit for Google Classroom, and I'm just going to go back out to reset it because once you start opening windows, it looks different. Every time that you're starting a day in Spanish, you go to the classwork and you open the agenda for the day, and then you click on the weekly agenda document because this is going to contain the information for a week. And you can see, for example, in purple at the top, we have an assessment on Friday where you will apply, etc. So these types of things, that is a message that was listed since last Monday. That message was there. Students are always aware of what's coming up with assessments because we're building those skills moving towards those assessments.